from Fnatic. It's a lot more stable from Secret. I've seen them play a very similar strategy before. It's been tested. It's been for them. Get a lot of their trademark heroes, so I think they go in with a lot of confidence. And the question is if Fnatic are going to catch them by surprise with their laning, with their early movements, especially when you invest into something like an Enigma, which looks like it is going to be in the jungle played by Johnny.
Yep.
This is a greedy pick, which might just work because Secret have shown their hand entirely with their support duo. With the Visage and Coddle, they have very limited invasion potential on level 1, and Johnny should be able to start off well in the jungle now. The question is, how are the other lanes going to go? I just called the jungle a lane. It's the 4th lane of Dota.
Yeah.
So yeah, well, I'm really curious to see what Fnatic are doing. This is a very special draft from them.
Yeah, it kind of is, and I know it actually goes against something which we were talking about previously before we started this game up, which was how much does Secret value the jungle? How much money is there really to pull out from this, and what effect do you see from the Enigma? But if Enigma can get this early mech, free up the Bristleback to buy something else, like maybe even a Halberd if he can close the distance on that Dry Ranger or Disarm, choices are available there. And you've got more choices when you get the Blink Dagger up and running, because the team fight of Fnatic is really, really scary. Between Dream Coil, Black Hole, the setup which can come from just a simple disruption, and the control from Purge, then you've got the Shrek Stun, the mass amount of damage that he does. It's a lot to work with for both teams, really.
Speaking of the Enigma, I think it's really confident from Fnatic to go for that here. Actually, let's wait a second.
Yeah.
This level 1 unfolds. Zai with some good cogs.
Yeah, but unfortunately, actually, the cogs lock him out. But KOXY is battling up against Puppey, but it's Johnny and Mushy who are the two slow on. But Zai, he'll pick up the rune. KOXY is bailing out of here. The Illuminate won't hit anything because Fnatic will just disengage. So
Secret
the first rune went...
runes.
They will. And we will go to S4 on the bottom, and it will go to Zai, who gets to play the offlane.
So what I was going to say is this Enigma pick is very confident from Fnatic, because I actually don't really know how good of a fighting Enigma game it is. When it comes to pushing lanes, it's difficult to push into Illuminate and Rocket Flare with just the Eidolons. And if you're looking for black holes, you're playing into Gust, you're playing into Hookshot, you're playing into Familiars, which are actually really good against it. And Johnny is going to have a very difficult game because of this. He's even going to start in the mid lane here, trying to help out Muji against Arteezy, who has a little bit of a head start here when it comes to damage dealt, as I think Mushi took quite a bit of damage in that level 1 fight.
Yeah. That's just the reason why he's there.
And classic dual offlane from Secret. They love playing this clock Coddle lane. I think, in my opinion, their absolute best dual offlane. They play this lane very, very well.
How effective is it going to be, though, when you have a Shadow Demon that can set up with Disruption, and KOXY, who, like, we're watching Keecha give him as much space as he can on the top lane, because then he's going to have level 2, you'll have Lightning available, and you'll also have that Disruption up and running. So you've got the setup, you've got the stuns, you've got the control. How much can they survive if it's Puppey who's the one that gets caught out of position? Because I don't think they can kill the Clockwork.
I think if they initiate on Puppey, he is not going to die, because then we'll see right now. Because Zai can always just go for a play like this. I think that was really aggressive coming from He is going to be on the receiving end of this one. Zai getting the first blood.
Huge first blood, massive first blood. At the same time, the Bristleback actually denied himself off because Kuro was harassing him so heavily, he just basically run himself into the Dire Ancients and killed himself off. So it actually shows us 2-0 on the board in favor of Team Secret. And Fnatic had just been completely forced out of, I'm going to say, the bottom lane at least. The Bristleback's a long way back. S4's got so much farm now that coming back to that lane, I'm not going to say a suicide, but it's going to be difficult. And the top lane, you've given momentum to a Clockwork. That's probably more dangerous than anything, but they're going to have a crack top lane. Disruption, Lightning started up, the second stun, and now Lightning follow-up. Zai will be dropping here, 6 charges in the cogs, not going to do enough. Fnatic gets some revenge on Secret.
This kill is so incredibly important, because if you look at how this lane was starting to play out, I think Secret getting the first blood there was just flat out a mistake from Kitschik. Even if he catches Puppey there and does a bit of damage, KOXY was never in a position to reach the Split Earth. And they can't really initiate on the Coddle, because the moment they do it, Zai will just run into the Lesh. He will either cog him and knock him back, or he will use Battery Assault. And if he interrupts any sort of spell cast from that Lesh in the lane, they're trading mana, which is already a loss, right? Because Secret can just keep chakring up there. So they need to be a little more careful, or incorporate the Enigma in the lane play. Try to rotate in Johnny early. There's no warding for Secret up here to help them out, and the Enigma has to be involved, I think.
But he can't really do much until those boots are up and running. Like, he's got the Soul Ring now, so that's going to be great. But he won't have enough movement speed to actually get into the lane to really be effective. Unless you're going to sit him on the sidelines, but then you run the risk of feeding off conversions as well.
Well, as long as they set up with a disruption into a stun from Lesh, they should have time for Johnny's Eidolons to actually move in. Even though they only have 250 move speed, it's probably enough. Between disruption and the Lesh stun is 4.5 seconds, so I do think they could do that, but yeah, we'll see. At the same time, you don't want to involve Johnny more into kills than he has to, because he really is under a lot of pressure in this game to get some farm.
Yeah, if you can give him all the space in the world to just farm up inside the jungle, and you still get what you're searching for around the lanes, which is not really that many deaths, but you're still finding like even CS, then you're going to be fine. But Puppy's already trying to put an end to this. He puts down the observe wards, came on a bit of a smoke mission, and actually blocks up 2 of the camps from Johnny. So Johnny will be forced out of the jungle anyway. He does have 1 sentry ward left on himself, but where he puts it, that's a big question.
He's gonna hear a grave chill here from Kuro, snatching the bounty rune from Ohio in the bottom lane. And I want to talk a little bit about this lane, by the way. I think Bristleback off lane is a thing of the past. I think it's too weak right now. The hero doesn't really scale. He doesn't fight very well from behind, and you really set him up for a bad lane. If you put him against a dual lane with Drow Aura from the beginning, I'm worried for Fnatic that Ohio is going to do almost nothing this game.
It's okay.
1 CS.
1 CS is fine, but he's got a mango. What more do you need, dude?
Experience?
That'll be a good thing to have.
That's pretty good.
Yeah, I'm not going to go against that one.
He's level 2, he's level 6. Quite good luck, buddy. Well, this lane is impossible, actually. And the trade-off they're getting is not good enough. They can't even make up for it. They're behind on experience and gold with an Enigma in the early game.
The Enigma's first real movement into the lane is going to tell us probably more than anything else. And he's actually bought smoke as well. So it looks like Johnny is going to make this first movement. He is a 1-3-1 build. There is no Black Hole available top lane. They're going to have a crack disruption into the stun. There is running to follow up at level 3. It's a lot of damage to the side with the catcher and the poison. I don't know if that's enough. 100 points of life. And now the Sonic Wave, they try and turn around. And Keytrix will go down. And surprisingly, Zai, he'll be able to survive.
I'm surprised KYXY didn't try to follow that one through on the clockwork. I thought they could have brought Zai down. It seemed like he just stopped chasing. One more attack would have triggered the Shadow Poison, or he could have triggered it and then got the kill. But instead, Zai gets to live. Good rotation from his 4, though, regardless of whether they would have killed Zai or not. He would have definitely got that return kill. Secret looking good in this early game. They're building up a pretty significant lead already. Kuro even gets to safe lane a bit now with the rotation of S4.
It does come to a sacrifice, though, because now Ohio is finding levels on the Bristleback, and Fnatic has spotted this out. So they try and punish the fact that Kuro is doing this. Initiates on Ohio, but Mushy, he's rotated himself down. Jump in with the Dream Core, soul such damage, just not enough on Bristleback. A good pick-off here from Fnatic, and great rotation from Mushy.
Yeah, so S4 finds a kill top, Mushy finds a kill bottom. Doing the same thing, just 30 seconds apart. And out of these 2 kills, in my opinion, the bottom kill is more important. Like, I really think they need Ohio to get this kind of help to become relevant. So Mushy with the play there is going to try to help Ohio get in the game. But just to give you some perspective here, Zai's level 6 on clock in a moment. The Bristle, who just got his lane ganked, is level 3.5, and he has no ancient stacks. His recovery curve is really long, and he just does less than a clock with the same amount of farm as Zai.
He's going to be really careful.
Actually hit the creep.
He's actually got 2 points, now 3 stacks of poison on him. And there's going to be a 4th one. No, it's off target. He'll be in the tree line and TP out. So the damage isn't enough to get the kill. He'll drop down, but not by enough to find it.
If Kachik finds the 4th poison there, I think that is a kill. It's level 3 poison, actually. Yeah, that would have definitely been enough. With Zai playing with fire, he gets
Johnny,
out.
smoke just broke, but the Malphus doesn't jump into the black hole. That's why he jumps in for the orb, and that's got S4 in the TP, but Mushy's so low! The stream will kill him! Arteezy will still drop. This will be a double kill for S4, as he'll blink up to avoid Johnny, and Mushy suicide with his own conversion! Denied! Right in front of the Tier 1 tower!
Very, very nice deny from Johnny. I think the black hole, however, is a little bit too early, because the problem there is he wants to have the black hole a little bit later when the TP support comes in from S4, so they get to catch him in it as well. They also didn't manage to layer the silence in the black hole perfectly, so they take a lot of damage before the silence comes out. I mean, granted, it's 3/4 of a second of silence, but still, that kind of play might allow Mushy to phase shift one of S4's spells and could have perhaps turned into a 1-for-0 instead of...
They're going 1 lane again. Kuro, Mushy TP's in with no lane board. He has no warning about this coming in. Mushy will bring him down with an all clockwork hook shot in, but the dire creep wave was there. So Zai unable to connect.
Fnatic are finding some picks here to level up the game a little bit. And chance.
Every time they do, too.
They might find another one.
Wow, this is going to get way too easy after a while. Zai is getting bursted down with both the orb and the rift, but with the defensive cogs up, he gets back, and S4's joined the fight. Sonic Wave is available. Mushi's already used Phase Shift, which means he is dead to the world. Maybe with a disruption available, but he doesn't actually throw it. He didn't have it. It was actually on cooldown. So S4 moves in quickly, finds the kill.
I think they were hoping there that he would be able to phase shift that attack to bait S4 into blinking for the kill, and then maybe they could have counterplayed him with Shadow Poison Soul Catcher and a couple of quills, but... Or maybe they were waiting for one more tick to deny. I'm not sure Shadow Demon could have actually killed him there, so maybe there was no play at all.
Could be something, could be nothing. Basic summary. Joe Ranger, though, is looking like she's really, really good. Like, you've died once on Arteezy, which for his mid-solo, Joe Ranger is actually very, 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 very good. But having 3 Wraith Bands as well as these treads, he does what he always does with this Joe Ranger. He gives so much power to the rest of the map. This Queen of Pain's walking around with a bonus 39 physical damage. Not to mention Keeper of the Light can do exactly the same thing. He's actually in Ghost form at the moment, can potentially call in someone, and they found an opening. It's going to be on the Shadow Demon. Starts off with the orb, pushes him back, and it will be able to connect. S4, nice jump in, defensive, though, on the disruption. In the lightning, S4 no blink, 7 seconds on cooldown. Now it's going to make it hard to get away. Angle strike, some will connect. S4's going to drop. Big kill. It goes to KOX, which makes it even bigger.
Kitschik had like 3 HP after that rocket. He still stays alive. Zai with, I believe that was a level 3 rocket, actually. He's trying another one. Sheik's gonna dodge that. He's expecting it, takes the long path. He might have to dodge a 3rd one, actually. Zai has in 5.
He'll get back to base in time. He'll have enough heal.
It's possible he's gonna try for it. I'm actually not sure. If he shows it right now. All right, he's not trying. Oh, he is. Oh, he found someone else.
Yeah, the second rocket he fired off flew over a higher while he's rushing him through. There's a hook one up. He's got a double damage. Lost him inside the clock, go higher. Trial break, free stick, can't help him. Disruption, there it is. Buy some time. Zion ball battery assault, left go higher. He's so low. The Dream Tower control the rocket from Clockwork. Zai finds the kill, but revenge is bittersweet. They're able to find it back. Mushi with yet another rotation kill. That makes it 2.
Kitschik is being super clutch in this game so far in his Shadow Demon. Apart from that one mistake he made in the early laning stage, playing a bit too aggressively, his disruptions have been pretty much perfect. And right there, they end up getting a trade because he just barely makes it. Else Clock will easily get that kill and get out.
He pulls down. The Sonic Wave from S4 will finish him off quick enough. That TP didn't come. Puppey was dead to rights.
He wanted that to happen, though. I think he recalled before he ran into the Lesh, so just wanted to get S4 in as good a position as possible for that, and does manage to bait out a kill, as well as secure their top tier 1 for now. They could deny it if they want. It's got 80 health remaining, but might just want to hold on to it for strategic purposes, just being able to TP to that tower, maybe have a little bit of a more unclaimed gold for Fnatic right now, delaying the, I was about to say delaying the neck of Enigma. He is 18 gold away. He's probably going to get it soon anyway.
Yeah, but delay the blink dagger or puck.
Yes.
Because he's a little bit further away. It's 1,600 gold on this puck. But okay, let's look at KOXY. Latrak has been banned out in the first 2. Most of the time for a very, very, very good reason. How's he looking at the moment? With Wand, Point Booster, Arcane Boost, and almost 1,000 gold. Is this the position you want to be in as a Latrak?
I think it's good enough. He is, I think he's pretty much on par with what you expect at this point, with 1 death, and playing in a 2-on-2 lane, it's a little bit tricky when it comes to farming, all in all. I think he's looking good.
Disruption, catcher on top lane. It's S4 who will blink and walk away, but he's not that far off. But Zai hook shots in. The gun actually phase shifted out by Mushi. He won't be expecting S4 serving to stand his ground. And they're both on potentially 2. Arteezy trying to run away, but Mushi up on the high ground. They want to keep playing it up, but it's Puppey in the middle of this fight. They can't do anything with that blinding light, but now, back it up. Kuro, trouble with KOX, but now Zai, a perfect blocking cogs. Ohio's got no way to get through, but he sees Arteezy, so chase after him, but Puppey again, pushing them back with that blinding light. There is a little bit of a chase. It's Zai after Mushi. The Dire Observer was down, and Zai's got no way to really chase this. He's got 16 one charges at least, and the familiar drop down. There's he calls the SD. Mushi face shifted out. The cog pushback by KOXY. Maybe now he can catch out Zai. The cogs are there. Turn on the unit. The pulse over with the stun. They have enough damage to kill off Zai. The ball's in the way in with Puppey's eluded. Johnny, he's pretty low. They've already got the kill. The Illumina, it won't reach him in time. They will back up before the range can go, and that is going to be 9 to 8 now. Keeping it close, keeping it tight.
that fight could have gone even worse for Secret. I think Johnny had the shortest black hole I've ever seen, or at least tied for top 3. He immediately when he cast it, he got hit by battery assault in the back. So Zai doing a really good job lashing onto him, and actually that ends up keeping Arteezy alive in that fight, as I think the black hole would have caught him at that point in time. So they still got a 3-for-0 with a completely whiffed black hole. They still won that fight convincingly, and it's all about the engage. Once again, Kachik, Imba, as well as Mushi with some big plays here.
I hate to pose the question right now, but does Secret have enough damage to kill off Fnatic? As I now see 2 Vit boosters flying back on the courier for Ohio as well as KYXY. This Leshrac as well as Brusselback are getting bigger with every minute that passes. Is the Dro Ranger, is he even your damage that you're focusing on? Like, you've now got the Yasha on Arteezy. He's pumping out a crap ton of damage, over 200 a pop. But is this enough?
Yes. They definitely have enough damage, but what they need to work around is the amount of control that Fnatic has. It's going to be very difficult for them to deal their damage when Enigma walks in with the mech ready, because they have to try to find, either they have to do exactly what Zai did there with just getting him onto the Enigma and trying to run him down, but if they cluster a little bit too much, even if they don't get Black Hole, just the overall AoE damage that Fnatic's lineup can output with just catching 2 or 3 heroes in Dream Coil, you're in a lot of trouble if you're Secret and that happens. Lightning Storm will be able to be cast twice. Bristleback will be in a decent position. And even though, as I pointed out in the start, Ohio got completely shut down, they actually managed to give him a bit of a comeback.
Top lane, going after Poppy. He has the double damage room, but can he actually hit in there? Missing the silence, and he'll actually die from the Dream Coil break. The rest of Fnatic is grouping up to try and force out the bottom lane. So the top tower will be denied. That's 1 deny for 1 deny. And the TP support coming in from Mushi to hold on to this mid tower, at least slow it down. While KOXY with the Edict forcing through the tier 1. He can't actually do it. The Familiars are phasing him out. So Queen of Pain will get the last hit. And Fnatic will get another trade-off. So it's the tier 1 in mid for the tier 1 on bottom.
I think Fnatic are okay with this. If you look over the strategies and what they're supposed to do, this is the phase where Fnatic need to get through it without too big of a deficit. And right now, it's a dead-even game. I think if you say this, we hold this position with a dead-even game 10 minutes down the line, Secret has like this really solid minute 20 to 25 where if Fnatic overcome that one as well, I think they're going to start scaling very well, where the main thing is just get someone in on Arteezy every fight. Because if the Drow Aura is not in effect, I think Secret's damage at that point will not be enough. You asked a few minutes ago, and I think for now it's good enough. But come that point when especially Leshrac starts getting tanky and Bristle too, they might actually not be able to do it anymore.
Well, the only way you could potentially do it, because there's no jump in initiation apart from the Puck. So Puck would have to jump right on top of the Dro Ranger to make it happen, and normally he doesn't stick around. So does that then mean you almost have to rush a Blink Dagger over on the Enigma?
Arteezy is really not in a good position right now. I'm not sure what he was expecting here.
Well, there is a Dream Call. Trying to battle up against him. The Cat's able to connect. Defensive disruption.
Wow.
And Arteezy. It's still taking a while to bring him down. And there she gets the kill inside of death. They're going to go bottom lane. S4. Nice hook shot in. They get up on it. Looking for the stop. Black Hole. He's still going to trigger it here. That battery is still going to work in the blade now. Couldn't attack into Zai. KOXY blinding, let it force back out. Even I think it was Mana Leak, which actually triggered a secondary stun.
It was. Puppy had enough knockback range on that blinding light to get him out of mana for the stun, else that kill does not happen. Very, very nice play here from Secret. And, well, technically, they shouldn't have had that kill on Drow, but apart from that, that was definitely a nice
said, Mushi, doing it nice. With the silence, there was no blinding light to stop him. He has to try and get himself out of this mess, though. And it looks like actually having that secondary TP cancelled, he will just walk away. Yeah, Arteezy was up so far.
I'm really surprised he was up there pushing. It looked like Secret wanted to draw attention to that lane so that they could gank bottom at the same time, and they were successful. But ultimately, if that orb from Mushi hits, then Arteezy doesn't get a kill, and it basically turns into a trade that's not really that favorable for them. So
the sad thing is, too, it actually came down to the last hitting, too. It was one attack for one attack, and Mushi, when he first orbed in, he actually attacked the creep wave. He didn't actually attack directly into Arteezy. So the damage wasn't there as well.
I was about to say Mushi is probably going to go for a Dagon, but he takes the Yule's route. I think wanting to deal with mainly the Gust, having a counterplay to that silence is going to be very useful. And of course, a secondary way of stopping TPs.
Not a bad setup in some ways too, because he could start he could set up for KYXY.
I'm wondering if there's not really any Blink Dagger carrier in Secret, apart from, I guess, Arteezy at some point might want to go for it in the Drow. So the fall damage from the Yule isn't going to be good for preventing that on anyone, but it's still just a solid choice on Puck overall. It's one of those items that you almost never regret getting, unless you really lack damage. I do not think that's going to be a problem for Fnatic, though.
He should be fine. KOXY has finished up the Bloodstone. He's going to fly out in the Courier, but he's very, very close to Puppey. But his Illumina's going to help force out that top lane, not to mention the Familiars, which are still here. Now, Bushy's done a pretty damn good job on the bottom lane, too, so he'll TP back, and that is the full Yule Scepter now done 18 minutes and a half into this game. And Fnatic are ready to fight. Johnny has his black hole up and running.
Did you notice Puppey's item build, by the way? Did you talk about that?
What did he end up going for? I saw Tranquils, and now he's got Arcanes as well. Okay.
One for each foot.
He's got 4 to fill, man. That's a lot.
He forgot he bought the first pair. Transition.
Right. There is no transition.
Awkward balance. Thanks, Toby. That's really nice of you. All right.
I'm here for you, man.
It wasn't the best joke, I know.
Oh, don't worry. That's why you're sitting next to me. I'll make your jokes look fantastic. Crimson Guards now up for the Bristleback. This Fnatic team fight is looking stronger and stronger again. So you got the Bloodstone up for KOXY. You've got your Black Hole with Mech. You've got your Blink Yule Scepter up and running. You've still got Purge up. And Ohio's now going to put a Crimson Guard on top of all of Fnatic. They can just start to force down buildings. And Secret either look for a trade-off, which it looks like they're doing at the moment. S4 with the DD rune can probably do heavy damage to that T1 tower on bottom. And Puppey's keeping the pressure force on top. But actually, Fnatic, they're searching for kills. They're not pushing down the towers. They're going to come off the worst for this trade, especially now the KOXY leaves. Goes down to defend the bottom lane.
Well, they did get the mid tower at least for the Bristle, who's
Dire's top tower
took the
is
tier
under
1.
attack.
I might have to eat my words because Ohio has actually had a really big impact and he is getting farmed. Like they've managed to recover him very nicely. The reason I'm so against offlane Bristle is that I feel like this never happens, but Fnatic have actually managed to accomplish it this game, which is very good to see, because if this Bristle would have been destroyed a little bit more in that lane, I think we could have been looking at a very one-sided game. But he is looking really strong actually. He's second on net worth with that offlane Bristleback. Ohio he's been incredible this game so far.
They bought him so much space with Mushy's rotations, because remember, Mushy did come down twice to that bottom lane to ensure that you could find the space of the Bristleback. The second the Secret tried to buy space for their Visage, for Kuro, to get a very quick level 6. He's level 10 now and very, very happy with life. But when they did that, it meant Bristleback could move forward. Puck made sure they were able to be part of multiple kills. And then you're rotating around with the rest of your team, finding even more kills. And then that's more space for Ohio. You don't have to bring him in until the fight really starts. But they're already going to do it. He's actually the right place at the right time. It's where the farm is. But Puppey's right behind him. Starts the Mana Leak, and Ohio should just sit exactly where he is. Then again, Mushy probably shouldn't. He's right on top of a Radiant Observer Ward, and they're converging on his position. And that's with an Orchid from S4. But then, Yule Scepter up. He can phase shift away for the Blink Dagger, blink himself down. And the hook shot! He bumped into the back of S4. So Zion able to connect on the retreating Puck. Now that means KOXY has got a ticket to basically push. This bottom tower's down to half of his life with conversions and catapults. And forces mass amounts of TPs down the bottom lane to defend it. And
Mushy immediately putting the Yules to use against the Orchid of S4. Of course, they are really, really important to avoid kills like this, where Secret are actually, you know, it's not just that they don't kill the Puck, it's how much information Mushy is able to gather from that gank failing. It opens up the map. Ohio feels confident farming up top. They have really good vision right now inside the Radiant jungle as well. So I'm looking for Fnatic to make the next play. Now with Hookshot on cooldown as well, they might actually just be able to if they can perhaps smoke into the Radiant jungle or something like that.
Well, do they actually have to? Like right now, you're looking at more Ancient stacks coming up. Johnny's going back to his farm to try and get towards, I'm assuming, a Blink Dagger. And you got Latrak finding more farm. Mushy's doing the same kind of thing. Is Fnatic even under pressure to come out and engage against Secret?
Well, Arteezy's getting big. That's a concern. As you talked about, it scales the entire team up. He's now got a BKB. He will definitely be looking for another agility item now, either completing his Manta or maybe looking at either a Scotty. He could look at a Butterfly, which would be not that great this game, but still, just for the agility, obviously really nice for his team. So I think they should be looking for fights. If they're confident that they can keep controlling killing the Drow afterwards. I did say, like, come minute 25, I'm not sure they have the damage. That is given that they get in on Arteezy. So they have to itemize and they have to play the team fights around catching him out. Else I don't think they can play the game this way.
Well, they're going to have a little bit more maneuverability with KYXY's next item not actually being any of the big ones, actually going for more of a utility 4-star build.
It's good against Clock, obviously.
And Ohio, we actually have a new plate mail being on him. Puppey, dead. Mushy right in behind him. He goes fast, he's got Dream Calls, he's got Lightnings, and you guys split up to find the kill. It's commitment to ensure death. But at the same time, Secret, now knowing the Dream Calls on cooldown, and they are looking towards that mid tower. How far they get, though? Not that far. They actually blink back out. Ohio's on the run out here, so S4 will find him. And does he even want to have a crack at this? He's going to gust him back. At the same time, Zai, a defensive cogs, but they get the mouth for stun off. Zai wants to hook shot himself away, but keeps getting stunned. The Yulsa are up the wrong time, but Mushy, but they have the silence, and they will get the kill.
Zai with a little bit of a martyr play there. I don't even know if he needed to do that, to be honest. I think his teammates might have got away. Perhaps Arteezy, oh wait, actually Arteezy had cooldown on TP, so I guess he couldn't easily TP. So that in mind, that might have been worth it, but of course the ultimate prize here, Fnatic, they will be getting a shot. There is no way Secret are able to contest this right now.
Not at all.
And I want to say, in this game, they've been focusing a lot on farming Kuroki, which I think is a great way of playing Visage in general. It's just, I'm so used to seeing Kuroki being involved more in kills that it's a different kind of style that might completely catch Fnatic off guard how fast he's actually getting this Ags. But yeah, until now, he's only been in 1 kill on Visage minute 24. That is very unusual.
This is the item we're talking about. Close the distance on Arteezy. Johnny's now got his Blink Dagger up and running. So we have Blink Black Holes, we have Blink Dream Calls. So much control. And Mushy, speaking of that, you'll set her up. S4's right on top of him. The Blink Dagger can't get it off base yet. Mushy doesn't have time. The cold position from Zai was perfect. It pushed him back. And now it's S4 that gets a large amount of money for that. Overall, it was 478 for that kill.
Yeah, that was perfectly executed. It's the only way they force him to Yule in the first place is that Orchid, and then he thinks he can phase Blink, but he was stun locked from full to 0. KYXY is pushing out top, and let's keep in mind that every time Fnatic take a good fight, KYXY is getting these Bloodstone charges. He's up to 10 right now. He's found 2 assists, I believe, with it. Maybe one of them was actually a kill. Yeah, he got the Clockwork kill. So he is starting to get items. Ohio, or charges rather. Ohio is also making some serious progress on his Bristle. I'm curious to see if he goes for the Shivas or for the Kiras in this game. I think it might be a Shiva's game just because they really don't have that much physical damage that his teammates benefit from, whereas when it comes to team fighting, he just needs that slow aura against all the physical damage of Secret, and as another way of catching up to Drow.
Yeah. Because once that Shiva's guard is hit, then Drow Ranger just slows down so much, and you're right, it's movement speed versus non-movement speed, if we want to really that raw.
Oh, geez, he got an SNY though. He's pretty fast too, 406. But Bristle is going to be way faster with a couple of Warpath stacks.
Yep.
Just popping the Shivas.
And then he's also got the help from Lightning from KYXY, and that's going to bounce through him. So getting close on the Drow Ranger and staying there is pretty easy. And now S4, Mushy, well, they actually take the Sun straight away. Can Mushy reach him in time to actually Yule Scepter him up? This might allow him to get recalled back out by Puppey. Able to save
so close. The moment he lands, he will take 50 damage, and that recall will be cancelled. But mid-air, you can recall him to the location of Puppey there. That was really clutch. And the question is if Mushy made a mistake there, going for the Yules. Could he have reached any spell? I actually don't think so.
Big play,
right, doesn't matter.
In, and able to get the perfect stun onto S4, so he dies anyway. And then Mushy wants to go for more. He's found Kuro in the mid with the poison, but decides not to stick around.
Yeah, there's no coil available. They're not interested in taking this fight right now. Rather, playing a bit of map control. Dire are farming the Radiant jungle. KYXY with the solo kill top gets a lot of space as well. That kind of kills really define it, or make a huge difference in the game. Even though it's just 1 kill on S4, they get pushed on the top lane. It's a really big surprise kill. KYXY gets Bloodstone charge, and it also results in this bottom tier too, because S4 doesn't have buyback. He will not be available for this fight.
Yep.
Very, very big heads-up play from KY.
At the same time, we did actually get the item out from Ohio. It wasn't the Shiva's guard like we thought. It's a full assault Cuirass, and has completed at 27 minutes in for Ohio.
So he did, yep. He did go for the Cuirass.
Yep. So negative armor plus armor. not that bad when you're trying to beat through the buildings, especially if you're just by yourself or only got one person.
There were
to
two
help.
ways to look at this, right? One of them is we do not have enough physical damage to benefit from the Kyros. The other one is we really need physical damage because we can't rely on magical damage only, right? So it's one of those situations where you're like, you weigh the pros and cons and you think, okay, KYXY actually just got a lot of gold. He can get a Shivas fast. Then it's probably a no-brainer because he wants that as part of his build. And I would say it's definitely better for them to get one of each rather than the 2 Shivas. So this top rune is going to go to Mushi. Gets a bounty.
He's going to be okay.
The bot rune sucks, so nobody wants that one.
It's the best rune of the game, Send.
Yeah, 1 out of 100 times. But that is great.
That is fantastic, and it makes for the wonderful jukes. But Mushi will pick up both, so hey, why not? It looks like Fnatic, it's a big group up on top. They do still have KYXY forcing in the mid with Mushi, just Orb and Lightning damage doing the work. And S4, well, there's a bunch of conversions on bottom lane that's going to be slowing down this push, at least from him. And that'll allow time for Fnatic to hit the tier 2 tower before the creep wave of Secret will hit the tier 1. Kuro should also be really careful where he is. That's a dire observer ward on top of the hill. He doesn't see this, but of course Fnatic see him. TPing out, they just get looked for the stun. Mistiming disruption will still, however, count the TP out from Kuro, which they will find this kill, and maybe even a couple of his familiars. And in fact, they're actually splitting up the fight. KYXY TP's the bottom lane to go for the defense while Mushi wraps around the back of the tier 2 tower on top. Now, Coddle, the recall's already starting in. Arteezy's come to the top lane. They're gusting onto illusions of the puck. See, illusion rune is useful. And tier 2 tower will remain alive for now.
Well, so Fnatic actually make a really good play pulling, just getting away from this tower right away. They realize, okay, they've poured their Leshrac bottom. Secret might have the buyback here. They're aiming to defend the tower. They force out the glyph. They're like, okay, Secret want to actually fight for this. We're not even going to give them the chance to get a comeback in this game. We're just going to keep fighting our pickoffs and playing our game.
They're coming top. They're looking for Arteezy or S4. And Johnny has his Blink Dagger. And in fact, S4 jumps into it, goes for the orchard. Can actually give Johnny some time for the disruption. A phase is running away. S4 will blink down into the river. Johnny will fall one down. In with Mushi. S4 controls on his BKB. He'll drop. And there is no help to come in from the rest of Secret. Zai was considering a hook shot in, but wisely decided against him. That was the 10-second BKB kill.
Kitchik's timing in this game is just so good. That disruption, beautiful timing from him once again. Fnatic are really bringing their A game for this game 1.
Yeah, and they hold the control. They have gold as well as experience advantage now, roughly 1,500 for both. And they're getting themselves further and further ahead.
Arteezy, he is not winning this fight. All right.
He is when KYXY leaves.
I guess he was afraid of the backup coming in, but that just looks really funny in that situation. He's totally got him. He could just run him down, force out the BKB, and then go into the portal.
Safety first, Cinder, and safety first.
That's funny.
But yes, it was a pure one-on-one. But no team's got any kind of vision inside the Radiant jungle. It's only where the creep waves and the heroes are moving. The closest ward you have to the Radiant jungle is the Radiant one, which is sitting halfway up mid lane. Even the Dire Vision, they have... Is that only one Dire Observer ward in the map, which is watching the top rune? I can see sentries on the top, but that's it. This map is really dark for both sides. But at the same time, like, Fnatic don't really need to see where they're going in the dark. They just walk up. The second they appear, they go for them. Especially now that Mushi has an Aghanim Scepter Dream Coil on this puck.
That is a very big deal. Now they have another way of playing around Arteezy. They can just coil him in the back. And if I actually think it's possible that the best play from Mushi, even if there's a team fight breaking out, is just blinking to the back, coiling Arteezy so in such a way so that if he wants to move into the fight, he has to break it. That's a 4.5 second stun that they have to single out other heroes. It's of course great against S4's quad as well, so when he blinks, he will also get stunned, but it is definitely targeted at Arteezy's drow in this game.
Oh, Arteezy's looking to try and target, well, Fnatic. But Fnatic move back. They will also smoke up, the same as Secret have, and try and find one opening. They'll take from that top rune. Now, there's no Radiant Vision there, so they won't have seen that happen. And in fact, they move up. There goes the smoke break. Over on Zai, Dream Call. Over on him, Silence. The Blade will protect him for the moment. And in comes S4. Right from behind, Silence galore as well as BKB. But still no kills. Mushi's the one who's isolated on the side. This point is waiting. It's all of Fnatic. But where is your puck? He still face shifts up, blinks in the tree line. Mushy, TP's on cooldown, so he has to ult further down. The rest of the squad's coming, another face shift. Delay more time. Now here comes Ohio. The Gus back silencing up. They have lost Mushy. Where's your hook shot out? Kuro's done. KOX1 battling up against S4. They're underneath the tower. KOX1's going to go down. And Ohio is isolated. The Colts have split up Fnatic. Ohio is down on the top lane. 3 heroes gone. And Secret trade nothing of value for it. They may even get more. The Rocket will get vision for S4 so we can get the Shadow Strike. This will slow down Shadow Demon. The TP is there. The scream damage isn't enough to actually pop him with the Orchid. The answer is no. He'll survive on 80 life points back in the base.
Very nice analysis of the fight there from Secret. Just to see that they're ahead when they get this kind of jump. It's one of those really awkward situations where you run into each other with smoke and you need to make the immediate reaction play. I think Mushy coiling...
they're chasing Johnny.
Oh yeah, Johnny is.
He came down and picked up an invis rune, but then Puppey had the gem, so easily saw the Enigma. I think he was coming in to try and deter them from going in for Roshan, steal the rune, and make him worry about it. But now Puppey, all he's going to do is just recall in all of his friends, Zai being the last friend, and they will take out Roshan.
You're so disgusting when it comes to killing Roche. That's ridiculous. So yeah, what I was getting at in that top fight, I think Mushy solo dream calling Zai lost the fight. Like, he cannot commit such an important ability just on the clockwork, especially when they can't even bring him down. Like, maybe if they get that kill off the bat and they play off that, perhaps. But Mushy was far ahead of his team and they didn't really have the combination play.
Top bottom lane, they're going to go on an S4. Ohio almost looked like he was baiting it out. An S4, BKB will trigger. He's going to die here. Good pick-off. Mushy stayed in the trees, and they aggressively TP'd Ohio into the lane, baiting S4 to try and have a crack at him. The Dream Call was the only thing that was going to stop S4 then. I think that's what he was searching for previously. The quick pick-off, move to the next target. That was it. Same with the Black Hole in the mid lane. It's just the mindset of Fnatic in this game up against Secret. Take one kill, move it along. Nothing to see here.
It's a little bit easier when you get a 2-on-1 instead of a 5-on-5.
Yes.
That's one of those kills that Fnatic, the moment he coils us forward, they know they've got him.
Yeah. That's what we call the backfire effect.
Now, how close is Johnny to his BKB? He only has the Ogre Club, right? So, no, this is one of the changes that Enigma has been pretty hit hard. Let me try that again. Enigma has been hit pretty hard by the changes to the jungle. When you look over the numbers, it doesn't look that significant, but you need to consider that it all adds up, right? You get less golden experience in the first camps, and because of that, you get the next camp slower as well. So his jungling impact is just not as high as it used to be, and you know, in a previous version, Johnny would have had his BKB back, but he's actually 3K short almost, so it's a pretty big deal. It was bigger than I thought it was, but when you see it play out, there's just so much evidence that really shows that the jungle has been sacked hard.
Secret's really forcing in this top lane, and they're doing it so well by just TPing Arteezy down to bottom lane. He pushes out the creep wave, and then you've still got the Aghanim Scepter on Keeper of the Light, and he's a level 16 Keeper of the Light too, who, correct me if I'm wrong, actually hasn't leveled up his ulti to level 3 yet. I don't think it's a misclick. I just don't think he's gotten around. Yeah, there we go. Now he's gotten around to it. But this means you basically got recall all the time for Secret, bringing everybody back. Your split pushes, pretty much insane, because you never have to have a TP scroll. You can keep the two cores, like Queen of Pain as well as Drought Ranger, forcing in the other two lanes, and keep the Clockwork, the Visage, as well as Keeper of the Light all together.
You need to be really careful, though. If they take damage during the recall, they're just stuck on the other side of the map. So if you have the information, you could definitely play that way, but it's a very risky way to play with a Drow, where if Arteezy gets caught out, that can, it can end up costing them the game, trying to play a little bit too greedy with the split push. Now, he's going to get the tier 1 for free. The tier 2, it looks like Fnatic will fight for, and of course, worth to keep in mind that we just hit nighttime, so Puppey does not have the 1800 unobstructed vision. I think Secret just wants to wait until day. Like, it's just a safer and smarter play where they don't really lose any potential in the next 3 minutes, I think, unless how long's left in that Aegis. All right, they actually lose the Aegis. That's a hard call.
It kind of feels like it feels like it's still worth it to go.
It could backfire so hard, though, if you go in without vision on this tower.
It could.
That is really risky.
They're not going to get up far enough to actually see either. But you've got Familiar Burst to scout out. They can move up through the tree line, be it on the east flank or the west flank. They can go from either side. And with a continuous Illumina spam, you're going to push into the tower. The Aegis on Arteezy, leave them on the front lines. If they initiate in, you just blinding light. S4 BKBs jumps in. Zaya's got a hook shot as well. You can bring support to the front lines very, very quickly. But why take the risk? The TP will come back from Arteezy. He'll defend the top tower. In fact, he'll probably even deny the top tower and just get recalled.
Radiant's top tower has been denied.
Yeah, Mushi making the right play here, just putting pressure elsewhere on the map. He knows he has a tier 2 tower support in on, and since he will be the only TP, he will be there in time. So even though that tower gets denied, it's still worth it because it stops Secret's push. It probably makes them not able to use their Aegis, which I think is the biggest deal. And all in all, Fnatic, they're buying time again. Did Johnny really not? He is still really not progressing toward his BKB. You think back just one version of Dota. You would never see Enigma second to last. Absolutely never. But now he's overtaken by both of Secret's supports, and it's just
It feels like he's sacrificing himself, though. It's not just the fact that he's not farming. It's the fact that he's having to sit behind the rest of his Fnatic heroes each time, thinking maybe there's a team fight coming, because you've got 4 players from Secret in one lane, and they're fairly certain of the same thing. It's like, okay, let's have the Enigma there in case they get initiated on, then we can counter-initiate with the Black Hole and we can do some work.
He's still got 160 CS though. Like, it's not like he's completely starved for farm on the Enigma. It's not high up the list though.
It's actually the third on the list as last,
which is pretty impressive. But
that Drow Ranger is #1. Leshrac right behind him.
And what does KYXY go for? Is this he's getting an Axe? Or is that an Octarine? It's got to be Octarine.
It should be Octarine.
I'm not sure if that's the best choice actually here. In some ways, you really need BKB against Mono League, even. That's like the biggest reason to get it. There's triple bird stuns, there's multiple silences, like the Orchid, the Gust, and just, I think the Mono League's actually going to be his biggest problem in this game. He will have to find a way to play around that. Leshrac, who's not mobile, really loses a lot of potential.
It might also just be a casual point booster for now, because he's still walking around with 2,000 gold.
That's just a weird build-up.
I don't know if he's going to go for like BTs as his next item. Maybe that's one way where they can try and counter the split push, which is coming out from Secret. Oh, wow, Koro. Right. He actually bought a full Desolator.
He's pretty rich.
Yep. This Visage has some good cash.
And the gold graph keeps going up for Secret. They're not really that far ahead. Like, it's really close. I've just got this feeling that when you look at how the gold is distributed, it does favor Secret in the long run. They have the farm supports. The cores will still be able to match the farm of Fnatic down the line, but it's going to be very difficult for the Shadow Fiend to catch up to the 6,000 he's behind the Keeper of the Light right now. Now daytime will kick in. I think Secret's plan now is, if possible, get Roshan during daytime with Coddle's 1800 vision from the Ags, and if they're unlucky with the spawn, they at least want to try to control the area. Or maybe not. They might have another plan as it looks.
They're bringing in a break effect. Yeah, they're just going to go right now. Like, why wait? They have a Shadow Blade on the Drow Ranger, which is actually back in the stash, and not on him right now. The hook shot could be on SD, but if they only lose the SD here, Fnatic will be very happy with this. That's a 5-man smoke. They'll end up killing off the Shadow Demon. But the creep wave is kind of cut halfway through, so they're not ready to attack into the tier 2 tower just yet. So if Fnatic want to buy back, they can't. The SD doesn't have buyback money.
This is not just a Shadow Blade, by the way, for Arteezy.
It's the Silver Edge up against the Bristle.
Yeah, so he's going to disassemble his Sanjin Yasha and make a Silver Edge and a Yasha. This very, very powerful build-up for Drow nowadays. This kind of game, they're going to concede this tower. Just look at that.
Yeah.
There is no way they do that.
If they try, they die. But Ohio is still looking very, very good with his BKB. Like, you're going to focus in with the break, but you got the BKB, the Crimson Guard, the Assault Cuirass, and I'm not going to say soon the Abyssal, because he did delay the Abyssal Blade to pick up that BKB. But the survivability on the Bristle is good.
If he gets broken, you won't even think it's that hero he's playing. Like, the physical damage on the Radiant is so disgusting that even though he has 29 armor, when the break kicks in, you might get a chance to see it.
Where's that break? There's the break. BKB will trigger, tries to TP out. The damage, it is not enough.
That was without... Was that with or without the Silver Edge on? Because I can't remember the interaction. I think when you pop BKB after you get broken, it removes it, right? It's the same interaction as Overgrowth. So it's like, who casts it first? I do think
I'm
so.
not answering mechanical questions.
It's a little confusing with Silver Edge because it might be one of the parts goes through, maybe the damage reduction, or the break, or both. I can't remember. But that to me, that looked like he wasn't broken when he BKB'd.
Yeah. His back was turned, he looked fine.
Regardless, Secret made a point there. They dealt 2,000 damage to a 29 armor bristleback within 3 seconds.
Yeah. But they did commit pretty heavily. Like, that was a lot of heroes coming in. And they're all working around with this bonus 79 damage from the Drow Ranger on every hero apart from the Clockwork. So you start adding all of this up against his life. 2,400 doesn't really look like that great a number. But when you can focus one-on-one, that's fine. When you start adding in the control factors, so maybe that really is, again, like you said it probably 20 minutes ago, what do you do in this game if you are Secret? You got to play around the control factors of Fnatic. Which means you've got to be careful of these Yule Scepters. You've got to be careful of these BKB Magic Immune penetrating disables like, well, Puck's Dream Coil, as well as Black Hole. And they actually get a Blink Dagger on the... He actually... Okay, cool. He buys a Blink Dagger on the bristleback.
I think it's good.
What's the purpose of it then?
Go on Drow.
That's a good purpose.
The mission is very clear here for Ohio. He just saw how much damage Secret dealt to him when Drow's marksmanship was on. He's not going to let it happen again. He has to jump the Drow to remove all of that agility. And of course, if he can actually shut her down, like I'm wondering if he even wins a one-on-one with Arteezy in melee range. I'm not sure because of the evasion on the Drow right now. With Butterfly, he probably won't reliably be able to get the bashes he needs. So it's probably pretty close, but that's still really good because it allows KYXY to do way more. There's a BKB. Good. That's a good choice. That's what I was hoping for from him. I think it's necessary. Absolutely.
So it was the casual point booster.
I think he just changed his mind. I don't think he got it as a casual point booster. I think he was going for an Octarine and he was like, all right, this is not good.
Yep.
But he obviously doesn't want to sell it since he can use it later.
Well, Fnatic with their newly found items, they're going to move out, see if they can find an engagement. They do have that BKB we're talking about. Roshan, the big man, is up and running, but Puppey actually breaks the smoke over on the SD, and Ohio instantly blinks to the high ground. Doesn't find anybody here. It also doesn't reveal the fact that he has this Blink Dagger, because Secret do have vision with the Radiant Ward, but they don't see where Fnatic is moving. KOXY is still under the cover of smoke, and they're drawing the line to go back down through the bot lane. They can see Roshan. The Dire Courier is watching it very closely. But they're going to find S4 in a moment if they keep moving into the trees. And they'll see the Illuminate also come out from the Dire jungle. So they're really guessing Fnatic which way they're meant to attack. But they're trying to wait for the creep wave to pass, so the fog of war is still restricting vision on them. But they're walking past the Observer Ward. They're perfectly visible. The three familiars just sitting there waiting. As KOXY, well, he actually lost the vision, so we can't attack up the hill for him. They'll run away, can't even bring down one of them. But on bottom lane, S4's attacking into the tier 3 tower. They're forced to TP back one, and it's Mushy orking it up. He still wants to have a crack, actually. You'll set bring over on the Queen of Pain, and then will move himself away. And Fnatic are basically in recovery mode.
Secret are outplaying them right now on their map movements. They're taking a lot of advantage of the Keeper of the Light. They're confident going for these split push plays with S4. And ultimately, they take the tier 2 top, they force TP's bottom, they lose nothing, and they are now in position for their next objective.
Can they take it, though? Fnatic are moving out. KOXY as well as Kurtchik. They're going to try and get rid of him. Okay. Well, that Roshan was alive at one point of his life.
Solar Crest, Desolator, Drow, and Birds.
You do get your item you're searching for. The BKB is over on the Enigma now.
Yeah,
so they have only the hook shot that will actually cancel his Black Hole. That's the only thing that Secret has.
And the biggest play here is the surprise play.
Oh, they found one. They found Puppey with the silence. 4-staff down. S4's coming in. Orchid's over on Mushy. He doesn't want to use the Yule Scepter just but Ohio turns on the BKB. Finish that to the first hit bash. Puppey down the count. They move over to Arteezy. Black Hole. The Cruise Roller caused a serious problem for him. KOXY can't do enough damage. Mushy trying to kill off Kuro. Finally, there is no buyback. Arteezy in the trees trying to get out of here, but he can't do it. The Aegis will trigger. Maybe he can make some space. Hook shots after Mushy. S4's going to go with him. They have to face him. Can Mushy get himself out of this one? There's your silence. Moshi, he's down for the count. It's a double kill for Arteezy, coming back to life again. And maybe with these two heroes down, there is buyback for the puck. They can do some damage to the base.
That instant hook shot from Zai really saved that fight. If he is not on point for that, they can run over, but immediately counterplaying the Enigma. I was about to say the big play here is to get the hook shot onto someone else, and then you can find the black hole. But Johnny, I don't blame him for going for that. It looked like a really good opening, but Zai was just ready for him instantly.
And Ohio copping Illumas, mana leaked, Dro Aura was turned on, the Rogue's racked his toes, and immediately racked his toes as well. Bunny blinks forward, but the damage is done. Maybe they can catch up to him. Arteezy running out here. Ohio has no true vision, so he didn't see the movement away. In fact, you won't really see anything. Even the recall from Coddle is pulling everyone back. Arteezy at the safety. They just took racks for, what, 2 kills?
Yeah, they lost their ages though. Oh, BKB.
Yeah, it's S4. He's going to go down to Ohio. Good damage from him. And a really good kill. That's a lot of money. That's actually a crap ton of money.
This Blink Dagger has been really good for Ohio. And the best thing for him is it's going to set up Blink Abyssal. It's going to be very powerful as they do catch Johnny, though, on the bottom lane.
But Arteezy's in a little bit of trouble, too. He walked into the 3. Again, going to get recalled, but Zai, well, pulled back out again. They couldn't get the damage onto Arteezy to stop the recall.
This is a very close game. Even though it's Secret are 10k ahead, it still doesn't feel like they're in the clear just yet, but they took a really big fight there. Now, they won't have Aegis for the next at least 5 minutes until Roshan respawns. And I think that's where Fnatic, if they find a fight like the one they just did, they would win that. They only lost that fight because of the Aegis. Even with a perfect hookshot from Zai, they would still lost that.
See, I'm wondering if they can once RT finishes his full Satanic, which he's only, what, 1,400 gold away from completing.
I still think Bristle beats him in a fist fight. I was surprised with how hard Ohio destroyed him in that fight. Even with Arteezy's evasion, he still got shut down pretty heavily. So I'm going to say when there's an Abyssal out on Ohio, even if, let's say, Arteezy fights back, he's not going to win in the long run, so he's going to need help. And that means Ohio will not only shut out Arteezy, he will force the fight in a direction that's going to give a lot more time and space for the Leshrac. So I really think Ohio's best decision in this game so far was to buy that Blink, and I think the second best one he's going to make is to buy the Abyssal over having buyback. I think he has to make that play.
Well, in 300 gold, you'll get your answer, because that's how far away he is from it. And Mushi, he's actually going to go for the disable, so the Scythe of Vice will belong to him. So not looking too shabby for his items. Arteezy, I still want to see when he spends his money. 4,000 gold now on the Drove Ranger. Could buy the full Satanic if he wishes to, but that's only if he wishes to. That will actually sacrifice his buyback. And Courier's already making the trek for it.
The really powerful thing about having buyback on Drow this game is that you can die and get recalled after buyback. So you don't even need the Boots of Travel as long as Puppey is safe. But he might still go for the buy. As you said, the Courier is moving. But he didn't buy the recipe. This makes me think...
Reaver.
Oh, okay.
He bought the Reaver.
Just didn't buy the recipe.
He actually only needs 280 gold to have buyback.
It's possible.
So technically he just farms up the Ancients and he's got buyback available too. So
he
doesn't
just
have
bought the Satanic.
Okay, well, caution to the win. Arteezy is Arteezy.
It seemed a little weird to buy the Reaver if you wanted to save, because he doesn't replace it with any item anyway in his inventory.
There's your wish for Ohio. The full Abyssal Blade has been purchased.
He is really strong right now. That is the single hero and player I've been most impressed with in this game because of how destroyed he got in lane and how many cases I've seen this off-lane Bristle just not working. Ohio has proven this game that you can definitely still pull it off. I am very, very impressed.
Arteezy about to try and pull something off on KOSY. Doesn't break anything, but just still attacks him. Mushi blinks forward, starts off with a Hex on Arteezy. No follow-up, and in fact, all of Fnatic have left the base. Hook shot up, they call out Mushi. With the cogs, pushing him back. He's got basic bubble, and he gulls at the first, allowing for the Blink Dagger timing. Up he comes to the high ground, while bottom lane, the Force is still coming in with a creep wave. Pushing it in, Ohio's BKB's protecting him, but he's out of mana. KOSY being mana leak, not also helping him out. No one's there from Fnatic, but then again, maybe they don't need to be. The Rax is getting whittled away by the rest of Secret. They just took bottom Rax without killing a single Fnatic player. They could just rotate towards the top lane as well because the creep wave's already in, and that's exactly what's happening.
Yeah, that split push play once again from S4. Just he's doing so much damage because of the Drower and his Cure.
Triple jump, the Abyssal Blade. It's on S4. time. Is there a kill? The Quantum back into the game, but Arteezy is going up against Ohio. They managed to reach up to him, so the damage is gone. Double silence is this day. Top of the drone range from Mushi. Still taking a smash down with the Sun. Ohio needs with a hot shot. Dive back in again, pushing him now. KOA tries to get the Civilians. Is this it? Johnny's in trouble. Solo Country will kill him. That's the triple kill for Koro. Pop the old one alive, and he is on the wrong side of the world. He has gone west where the sky is blue, and it is cloudy and GG, in fact, in the Fnatic base. Secret take game #1 up against Fnatic. One step closer to the semi-finals. But what a game for Fnatic as well. I know you want to say, man, the Bristol back. Great play by Ohio.
That was such a good strategic win for Secret. I think the way they outplayed Fnatic in this game was simply just map movements and split pushing, taking advantage of Keeper for Light, taking advantage of